The voting is officially over for Sims 4 Survivor Second Chances. You guys have been voting for the past week and a half or so, and it is time to reveal who you guys voted in to compete on Second Chances. Before we get into it, a little bit of stats here. We had 11 votes, one of which was myself. I also voted, of course. But we had a pretty even spread throughout. Most people got at least one vote. There are a few that did not. And also there were a few people who did not use all 20 of their votes. So we do not have 11 times 20 votes. So 220 votes, I guess, in the ballot. So if anybody's gonna do the math on that, don't worry if it's off. Some people just did not use all 20 of their votes. Anyway, let's just get into it. I am going to start with the men, mainly because it's a lot more obvious who did and who did not make the cast there. The women's side was a little bit more polarizing, I guess. There were a lot more extremes to one side of the other, so the people in the middle are... there were quite a few women who ended up in the middle portion of the voting, I guess. But we have these 26 contestants who were eligible to be voted for, and every single one of them received at least one vote, which is great. However, 2 contestants only received 1 vote each, and those were Simon Scott and Derek McMillan. So unfortunately, they did not make the cut. They are off the board here and will not be competing on Second Chances. There were also a handful of people who only received 2 votes, who similarly will not be making the cast. Those are Irvin Price, Shaq Villarreal, George Cahill, Aaron Bida, Night Wraith, and Ash Harjo. So those 6 also not making it onto the season. Let's go into the highest vote getters though. 2 of the men got 7 votes each, which was the most for the men's side, and I think also for the women's side. So they pretty convincingly made it onto the season. Those are Jeb Harris and Nyan Spector. So congratulations to them. They are officially on the cast. There were also 2 men who received 6 votes and will also be making it onto the cast. Those are Brett Tacking and Aurelio Robles. So congrats to them. They have officially made it onto the season as well. So that is 4 men that I have confirmed so far. And I can confirm 3 more, as there were 3 men who received 5 votes. They were Dustin Broke, Sunny the Tragic Clown, and Ignacio Robles. So we have both Ignacio and Aurelio competing. So perhaps a little bit of an unfair advantage here. I will make sure they will not be competing on the same starting tribe at least. However, we have a handful of people who only received 3 votes, which I will take off the board as well, as they did not make the cut. Those were Morgan Ember, Kyle Carlson, Makoa Kealoha, Jay Robles, Paka Uha, and Karo Akiyama. So the 6 of them also off the board did not make the cast, which leaves us with 5 people remaining and only 3 spots left on the cast. One of those I can pretty easily take off the board, and that is because Aqua Song actually made it into the top 10 on the women's side. A little bit of a spoiler for the women's ballot, I guess, but Aqua received 4 votes on both of the ballots, which gives them a convincing spot on the women's side. So I will just give them a spot on the women's ballot and take them off the board here. In which case, we have 1 more man that we have to remove off the board. And out of these 4 remaining, I think I'm going to have to take Brent Hacking off the board. Mainly because Brent did make the cast, so I feel like it's a little bit unfair. Although we do have like Aurelio and Ignacio. But they did actually receive more votes. If one of them had gotten 4 votes, maybe I would have cut them as well. So yeah, Brent, unfortunately, just barely not making it onto the cast. And instead, our 10 men that will be competing on Second Chances are Jeb Harris, Nyan Spector, Brent Tacking, Aurelio Robles, Dustin Broke, Sunny the Tragic Clown, Ignacio Robles, Sydney Price, Chan Lin, and Manuel Aguilar. And with that, we can move on to the women. First off, I can reveal this. Aquasong did receive enough votes on the women's side, as I already said. So Aquasong on the cast. There were 3 people who did not receive a single vote on the women's side of the ballot, and therefore, of course, will not be making the cast. Those are Julia Bright, Jay Robles, and Eloise Hiddlesticks. 2 women only received 1 vote. Those were Darling Walsh and Leah Huada. So those as well will not be making the cast. But let's confirm some people on the cast here. 7 votes was also the highest amount that a woman received. 2 women actually received 7 votes. Those were Faye Harris and Judith Ward. So the 2 of them officially on the cast. We also have 2 women who received 5 votes, which is enough to make the cast. They were Grace Anansi and Penny Pizzazz. So those 4 officially confirmed on the cast. We have Aqua Song as well, so we have 5 spots left. I can now reveal that a handful of people only received 2 votes, and they will not be making the cast either. So those are Celeste Michelson, Morgan Ember, Lana McKinnon, Vivian Lewis, and Valentina Nadir. So the 5 of them officially not on the cast. 3 other people received 4 votes along with Aqua, and as such, they will also be making the cast. And those are Elphaba, Supriya Delgado, and Yasmin Tinker. So those are 8 slots that have been filled in. We have 2 remaining, and everybody else left on the board here all received 3 votes. So I had to make some tough decisions here. They're all on even playing fields, and I honestly had no idea what I wanted to choose. So I started to look into who had made the cast, which seasons had already gotten some representatives, which seasons had not. Ultimately, I decided to cut Ava Capricciosa, as both Supriya and Aqua did make the cast, filling in the Chestnut Ridge representation. So Ava, she is out of the count. I also decided to cut Clara Bjergsen, as both Ignacio Robles and Nyan Spector are here to fill in as Ravenwood representatives. Baby Ariel, I also decided to remove off the cast, as we already have Jeff Harris and Aurelio Robles as Generations representatives. Even though there was somebody who only voted for Baby Ariel on the women's side of the ballot, which was kind of funny. I heavily considered putting her on the cast just for that person, but yeah, we have enough Generations people, so I decided, you know, she has to be dropped off the cast. Then we got Megumi Ito, also gonna take her off the cast. We already have Sunny the Tragic Clown and Chan Lin on the cast, here to represent Mount Komorebi, so Megumi unfortunately does not make the cast. And at this point, we have 4 contestants who are all from seasons not represented on the cast as of yet. Cassandra Goth and Ash Harjo both come from Blood vs. Water. Summer Holiday comes from Worldwide, and Sonja Lee coming here from Occults vs. Normies. First off, I decided to give Sonja Lee a spot, mainly as we do not have an older woman on the cast yet. So Sonja, congratulations, you are officially on the cast. And then we just have 1 slot left. And I think I'm going to give it to Summer Holiday. Mainly because she comes from Worldwide, which is one of the bigger seasons of the show. She also made it the furthest out of these 3. She is also a fan favorite. So yeah, Summer, she's gonna make the cast. So those are the 10 women who made the cast. Faye Harris, Judith Ward, Grace Anansi, Penny Pizzazz, Elphaba, Aqua Song, Supriya Delgado, Yasmin Tinker, Sonja Lee, and Summer Holiday. Alright, there you have it. That is our official Sims 4 Survivor Second Chances cast. I will be back with you in a few days, maybe, I don't know. We'll see how long it takes me to edit the season, but I will throw them into a brand steal. I'll play through it, and once I'm done editing, I will post the season. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.